All right, we're here at the HB program. We're doing it live. And let's clear our throats. Let's have fun. Let's make everything amazing. Um, I've got a setup here now with like an actual microphone. I don't know if it sounds like shit because I don't have the ability to listen back, but it feels a little, even if it's like, not high quality red bar level, it still feels kind of a little more professional when you're talking into a microphone as opposed to some shitty internal Mac, HP, whatever, internal microphone setup. Uh, so that's where we're at. That's what's going on. Let me listen back to myself, see if I'm blowing out the levels or if I'm doing it. At, yeah. All right. So what mic do we have set up here? Oh, we're internal. We don't want to go internal. Go. Let's see if it sounds better. Can we hear it? Are we digging or are we shoveling? Okay. All right. So I've got that set up. Um, got to get the audio going the right way. This is definitely not fun for people. But anyway, good to have you here. Shout out to all the heads. Uh, you know, people don't like when I use red bar terminology, but I don't care because I've the folks that are upset with me for, and shout out to NY Spawn 93. Good to see you. Um the people that get upset that I'm team red bar aren't looking at the big picture. They don't realize that I spent 5 years giving him shit, about 5 years on and off, but fairly consistently trashing him, making him uncomfortable, making him not enjoy his life. If you expect me to spend a lifetime making a man hate his existence, then you are a truly evil, bad person. Um, I think if a guy, if he's doing horrible terrorist level behaviors, then I would say, sure, I should, uh, lay down the hammer. But the truth is that in general, what he's doing is making jokes. He's shitting on people, and it just felt over time that it had become kind of ridiculous for me to shit on a guy for doing essentially what I'm doing, but on a larger scale. You know, at a certain point, the only insult I could possibly think is, well, you're actually putting effort into this, and which isn't an insult because I don't really like when people on the internet say that. They're like, oh, you're trying too hard. Well, the internet, I like people who try hard. I don't like people who make it obvious that they're trying hard. You know, it's good if you can hide the art, but that is the art, being an artist as a streamer, as corny as it might sound, involves putting effort into things, uh, doing things that, because if a low effort, you don't actually want to watch a true low effort stream. That's just a guy with a shitty camera in his bedroom, things are crooked, things are falling apart, you know. I not that I do the most high effort stream in the world, but at the very least, um I'm more embarrassed. I'm at least embarrassed by my low effort tendencies. I actually give a shit. So when people say, "Oh, Red Bar, he tries too hard," I celebrate the tryhards, the people who make. I don't consider it trying hard. I consider it making an effort. I consider it doing something and trying to do something that is great. If you fail in the process, then you just failed, but at least you made the effort. And I think that that's what more people do. More people should do. Will you watch Comedy Shaman's stream later today? Um, what time is he going live? Yeah, people who by the way, people who think I have an issue with Comedy Shaman, I don't. I think that I like that he was. Yes, sure, I was combative with him on air a little bit, but that's the nature of being on air. His job is to get a reaction out of me. My job is to react, and we create content. But yes, he was supposed to, and he told me this ahead of time. It wasn't like he blindsided me. He told me, "I'm gonna say some shit that's gonna bother you. Be prepared." Um, and the only reason it kind of didn't go the way that we thought it was going to go was because there was some, doxing type of stuff happening in his Discord. It's of course it's not. I want to be clear. He was never the one doing the doxing type of stuff. That was all members of his Discord. But I told him if I don't want to be in a Discord that has a bunch of shit, that is doxing myself and etc. People in my life, I don't want to do that. But if there's a way I can go on a show, I certainly would be willing to be a guest once again. I would say just watch out to Comedy Shaman. Watch out for people who will strike your channel. My strategy is, sure, I will talk shit. I will be mean. I will retaliate against people, but I will not strike your channel. Literally, the only way that I ever would be if you did what certain streamers do, which is show personal information on your channel. But I'm not gonna. If you just say, "Hey, I'm stupid," "Hey, Hostbuster is gay," or "He's a loser," I'm not gonna strike your channel for that. I'm not gonna strike your channel if you say I'm not talented. That's petty to a level that I'm not, willing to go to. What's your plan to get Pot Awful back? Look, I just am not going to associate with anybody in that part of the internet, period. Uh, Unbleached made the mistake of joining their team. So if you have that stink on you, you're not going to be around me. I'm just not going to do it. I shit on him a little too much, and I might have said some Red Bar level words, things that are upsetting to people. Uh, uh you know, so that's about it. Yeah. Um Unbleached, we're just not. Yeah, he wants to hang out with them. That's his choice. I choose not to associate with those folks. Um and that's it. I don't want to dance with the devil. That's what I will say. I want to do my thing. They want to do their thing. That's it. Like, because sure, I could do the evil shit that they do, like share people's addresses and stuff, but I'm not that person, I don't share pictures of where people live. I don't share their address and call their family. I just don't do that. So, yeah, and Shaman, I don't want to. The more I tell Shaman that it was those folks, the more he'll just think that I'm trying to put thoughts in his head. So I'm not going to tell him that Pot Awful porn bombed him and everything like that. But it's obvious, that's what is going on. That's clearly what it is. There's no real, porn bombing is, and the argument that people make is like, well, it's free speech to porn bomb. Well, there is no free speech to porn bomb, at least not on YouTube. YouTube does not consider that free speech. So if you put something on somebody's platform that will get their speech taken down, that is, in my opinion, an anti-free speech stance. Now, I do think it's gay and boring to talk about free speech, but if you're going to do things in the broadcast world, in the stream space, then at a certain point, you got to admit that you're doing things the bitchy way. And that's just what they do. It is what it is. Listen, I told Shaman, I said very clear to him, look, you're a nice guy. Don't let people take advantage of that. Don't let people mistake your kindness for weakness. Because I think that Shaman is, he's a nice guy and he's friendly and he's kind. And that's good if you're around quality people. But trustworthiness is also something that is taken advantage of by people who run cults, people who run hate groups, people who want power. To Shaman's credit, I don't think he wants power. I think he wants maybe to fit in somewhere, and which I understand. So I would say Shaman is the one exception of all of the Pot Awful people that I'm willing to associate with, because I don't think that he is in their group for a bad reason. I think he truly just wants to have he just wants to exist somewhere where people like him, and they like him, not for good reason, but they like him because, whatever. And I would hope if he's listening to this that he would understand that I'm not hating on him. I'm just saying, be careful. There are sharks in the water, and you don't want to swim with them because you're going to get bit. So let's check out what Sam Hill is doing right now. Sam Hill, co-host of the
Switcher
stream,
has a new
Busters
Camaro, folks. The general picked out for him. Camaro's a nice car. The point is,
Camaro.
Here's the point.
No more Camaros. Chevy canceled them.
B-Sox is supposed to be strong, but I'm not making. But he has another man telling him what to do. That's a pattern of behavior. Geno will continue, and then B-Sox will probably have enough. All B-Sox has to do is accept the obvious, that Geno is dominating you, telling you what to do, and you look like a fool. Anyway, the grammar, the spelling is good. Let's see what else. Dada Geno did Buy It For Me. Laugh out loud. I don't care. That's shtick. Boost Mlaka is now trying to go buy a spotlight.
Let me go in there.
Okay,
maybe I'll do a simulcast with Sam.
Maybe.
What up, Michelle? Good to see you. Good to have you on the Busters program.
I've known a lot of rich people.
One of the premier
I've been
podcasts in
private school, public school,
in
Switzerland.
the universe. And I don't
Connecticut.
say that because I'm on it. I say that because
I thought about
Russell
this.
Cook, Sam Hill,
Are
Jarva,
rich
David
people better than
Walsh,
middle class people?
and others
In my experience,
have made it
only generally the
streaming
middle class
destination.
people are more. Is it because of corruptive nature of money? Some rich people are wonderful. My point is, if you have money, you shouldn't feel better. You have more challenges. Like you have opportunity.
Maddie?
What are you going to do with it? And
Gutes
don't
Bier.
attack somebody for having a privileged background or having a family with money.
I would
I'm not
say
going to talk about my family.
don't attack people for
Go
privilege
after them
as long
for
as
what they did with their lives.
they don't trash you
Because I think if
for
you're
being
privileged,
poor.
you have more
right?
responsibility.
That's my
And
stance.
the values of middle class,
As long as
kind
you're
of
not
impress
using
me
your
more.
shit to shit on people, then
because rich people generally
they cut
they can
out.
be snobby. Well, they can feel they're better, and a lot of them it's through families. Like one poor family will marry up. You get. I'm trying to say, don't slander me. Well, whatever my finance, I generally bring up NVIDIA when people like AOC says I'm a fake. I have no money. Okay, let's talk money. Oh, I don't know
Money
about
talks.
the technical part. True, that's true. But the man who said it, AOC, is living.
Can you clear
in the
your
cheapest
damn
kind
block
of
list?
Motel
Who's on the
6.
block list?
And me, I'm a minimalist anyway. And maybe that comes from privilege, that you don't have to worry about money. But AOC came from privilege. It's what we do with our lives. Right now, I'm just thinking about my wife.
Let me take a look at my block list here.
That's a good criticism against me. It is, but not slander, not something.
Billing payment.
And it's insulting to my wife that she could be bought. She's a registered nurse.
Oh
That
yeah,
means college.
AOC was really going after Sam's
That's
wife.
better than delivering boxes.
We talked about it
Poon Handler
private.
just puts words in my mouth because he's about argument. I'm about truth, and the truth is, Poon Handler has lived a disappointing life.
Wow.
The last years
I like
I
Poon.
have, although I like to think I contributed, even financially. If I'm putting a Filipino relative of my wife through college, the end result will be another nurse in the world.
By the way, I'm
really offended when Poon said I feel better than other people, because I don't.
You know what I say to Poon?
Why you just can't mind your business?
On a day-to-day basis.
Why you just can't mind your business?
Becky. But yeah, I've done good.
Yeah, he says Sam is a P
and
P
go
word.
at me.
He called him a P word.
Oh, I wasn't an educator.
And at the time, I was like, Sam, what's up with this?
I put out 8 hours of tape.
AOC was very persuasive with his anger.
Oh, I'm not.
I
I
talked to
didn't
Sam
study
privately,
to be a therapist. Okay, I put out proof of that.
He's full of shit.
How about Dana a little bit coming up? She was a therapist. We talked professionally. We both went to the same college, basically, for psychology. Even
if you're a fan of AOC,
the greatest line bucket.
You wear beta shoes
with initials, 3 initials.
You wear beta shoes.
Came up. We talked. She said she had a degree in clinical psych. We talked. At the end of it, this person who now hates me said, "Well, I'm better at theory, and she's better in the field." Well, I brought up simple people like Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
My point is,
why does that sound familiar?
AOC.
Oh, AOC, the
and have.
Yeah, we need to be clear. We're not talking about AOC the
I
politician.
like
We're
that.
talking
I like
about
talking
Alex
psychology,
Cortez, the
education,
streamer,
art,
for the universal
um,
audience.
politics, books, movies,
Yeah, that must sound weird if
music.
you're
Though I'm
not
not Russell Cook. I
familiar.
like old TV clips. I'd rather watch Leave It to Beaver than modern shows.
What's up, Russell Cook?
Keep asking.
One of the 4 pillars
like
of the Busters program.
People like conflict. More people watch Poon right now. That's fine.
I'm trying to click your link. I can't get it. Let me try it.
Believe me, I'm thinking about my wife more than views.
If
But
it
I know
ain't
when I go
wife,
on,
it ain't rife. That's what Matt
I'll
Rife
probably
says.
get really stoned.
All right, let
to
me
forget.
get to it.
That's what people do, right? What's
Yo, that's what
forgetting?
Matt Rife should say if he bangs people's wives.
The
If it
dude's in
ain't wife,
pain.
it ain't rife.
I live in a different
Let me
world.
get to it. Where's
now
the
I'm a little
link?
bit in pain. More than a little bit. So if I'm in that much pain psychologically, whereas the odds are my wife and I will work it out. If I'm feeling this kind of pain,
Got it.
what does B-Sox feel? Who can B-Sox go to? Who has B-Sox been
I don't
with?
have Facebook. Is there a way I can
was
check
with a
this
woman.
link out without Facebook?
He said for 4 years. I just don't understand though. B-Sox said he signed away the rights to the kid. That's terrible, right? I also don't understand why B-Sox called his child the N-word.
See, that's why I don't
Does
really
the amount of pain
consider
you go through result in? I don't
really consider Facebook a public platform because you got to make an account to sign into it. Like YouTube, you can just get into it, with no login whatsoever.
think so. There's something more. But he lies.
I should make a fake account. You know what sucks?
I just deal with the basics.
About Facebook is, so let's say you just want to look at shit.
That's all.
Then you make a fake account just to like access their service. And then soon enough, they're like, okay, you can't use this account because we've determined it's fake. Well, I just wanted to watch a fucking video and be on your platform. So I don't know.
Go on to chat.
But it's not the worst thing in the world for people to be identified with their actual name. That's kind of a good thing.
When I go off talking, sometimes I lose sequence.
I'm trying to learn microphone technique.
I know. I'm trying not to
get too loud. Am I too loud in your ears?
I might. People saying hello. I was going to do like I said, this show, winners and losers. And I was going to include chat. Here's Jan, who I fought with a little bit. Is she a winner or loser? Am I a winner or loser? I think I'm mixed with Jan. I think.
I mean, as soon as you call yourself a winner, people will
pay
call you a loser. So
I think when Geno, people stopped being interested in Geno, that pure people watched. And I think, are you struggling with your own channel? With the right guest, you can have fun. I went in there and she likes chickens, so I try to have fun with the chickens. Because who loves chickens? We love our dogs, cats, even birds, but chickens? Chickens are little nasty dinosaur.
By the way, me and Sam, we're looking to do a show this Sunday, so we'll see how that goes. It should be amazing.
Don't they eat themselves and peck themselves to death? I mean, but Jan got this thing where you're a chicken lover. Chicken lover. So I went up and I think we had fun with that, but you gotta really be.
I need to figure out the
bring it
glare
up.
thing. Ever since comedy enforcement
Stop.
pointed
Some
out
guess.
glare on glasses,
That's
I
your.
realized that I do that a
I'm
shit
tired
ton.
of York shouting out.
So
What is
we'll
up
work on
with
that.
Anyway, Renee,
Maybe not
Esther,
today,
Jen, are you off today?
but future wise,
Just Maddie's funny.
we will do that.
I never know why he goes off. I do appreciate he comes on. He choked his chicken and cheated on her. Choking the chicken is masturbation, right?
Oh, good. Thank you for explaining. For the universal audience,
Claudia
choking the
is
chicken
back.
is
I'm happy and glad.
masturbating.
She did.
Sam
Claudia,
has empathy for the viewer.
wow, she was so courageous and fought for Shaw. And then her attitude changed. And I think that's because of other issues. But I can't. I like Claudia so much, and the next minute she's not happy. I can't. And I recognize that you have struggles, Claudia. So welcome back. But don't say it turned on you. Rock Girl Media, very, very interesting person.
Ban me,
Because
you
she
bald
takes a
prick.
position.
Good name.
She'll stick up for you. And yet she's got her own battles going
Like
on.
Kenny TV.
And I don't know. I don't want to. I've tried to be fair.
I want to cover,
but
Red
from
Bar,
her point of view, Brutal Mafia has been terrible to her.
streams,
But
in
I don't
a
know. It's
more
tricky,
positive
right?
light.
But I do know. I think she's
But
great.
I can't.
I've seen her in other
how to do
situations. She hasn't been nasty. Some people will come up like there's this Florida. What's his name? Randall.
Let's do Compound.
And he'll be cool with me. Right? And then I'll turn on this lady with initials. And she's saying to Randall, basically, Sam Hill sucks. Well, Randall has always been cool. I loved him coming up and playing the guitar for like a year. And then I hear him saying, yeah, Sam's basically shit. Something like that.
Ooh.
What am I supposed to do? What? My point is that Randall was cool to me. And then he goes up and puts me down. But Rock Media, Shelly isn't like that. She's cool. But she hasn't been happy with me sometimes. From her point of view, I kind of get it. But Brutal Mafia and me are a very complicated situation. He's someone I've tried to make peace with. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And I think I repeated chat again. Glitch Switcher. We all know Gino's generous with the money. Doesn't he take welfare? That's not B-Socks. Oh,
Now,
I'm glad you said that.
Sam said
Thank
that.
you.
Now
Might not be.
I do have a little bit of a thing to say here. Is Sam said that rich people are privileged and hateful of poor people, but he's always shitting on people on welfare. Well, isn't that kind of evidence that rich people will always shit on people? Isn't that the thing? He was just criticizing rich people for going after less individuals with less of a less privilege. And now here he is saying these welfare queens, these welfare pieces of shit. Well, people on welfare have it worse off than you. Maybe you shouldn't be shitting on them.
He was in chat the other day, and I was up with him, and he kind of admitted he was, but maybe it's not. Let me, as a channel owner, I got to go on to YouTube to authenticate him.
And I say all that,
thank you,
admitting that he will be
always
a co-host on Busters. I still
be alert.
Like him and can criticize.
Am I me?
His opinions.
Why am I asking me? Tony, are you there? Tony.
Who is Tony?
Some people say it's me. It's
he's got a secondary character.
It might not be me. It might be a deal with me and this other guy. Or it might be me. I think it's interesting either way.
See, I would consider doing characters too, but I don't want to accidentally
It's
develop
Tony
a
Me.
multiple personality.
There is just a good guy. He's no simp. He'll go after me if he think I did wrong. There's Russell Cook. What is that? Is that trash? Mr. T would say, I'm taking out the trash.
What is that? It's
Gross,
M.
you want to be brown.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what you're talking about. Either it's him or I don't know.
Gross, you want to be brown? Okay,
what would I like to be?
B-Sox hates brown people.
Yeah,
you heard it here
I
first.
guess I thought about it, but I didn't think racially. It depends, right? His situation. If you're on a basketball court, you probably want to be black because the best athletes generally are black.
There we go.
I don't think I'm not an envious person. I'm really not. I've been lucky. I got bad points, but I'm not jealous generally. Oh, you're jealous of your wife. Yeah. There's exceptions. You try having a very pretty wife. I've actually said the best chances are like 2/8 because I guess you're lucky to get a pretty woman, but men are always going after them. That's true. I think that it makes it more difficult. I don't know if that's the real. It might not be the real deal. I don't care that much. I'm just trying to find where I am in chat. Literate B-Sox is a funny bit. Yeah, I have trouble making out the word, but King Richard is my best Shakespeare. And Romeo and Juliet is too.
Hey.
Escalated to a bad place, and she left. Hopefully, she went to work, but I don't know.
So you called out your wife, and she left.
Well, it's more complicated. This internet stuff. It really does hurt relationships.
That's interesting. Now, what was the situation that led to the argument?
Okay, so I usually wake up early. Usually I wake up at 4:00, but I woke up longer. But she was sleeping, so I went in another room and I was turned on streaming, and there was B-Sox with a title, with my name in the title. So I phoned in, and I ended up raising my voice on air. She came in and said, "You're yelling, you're yelling," and I took that. Everything built up because for years, she says she didn't like me raise my voice. But then I felt like this is just a hobby. It's normal to raise your voice in this. And I overreacted and I got mad. And
okay.
She even packed her back.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So I hear what you're saying. Now, raising your voice, obviously, when you're doing it on the air, it's a different meaning than when you're doing it in person. However, it's not always going to be taken that way, especially I've noticed personally, I don't know if this is the case for all people, but if you're invested in the argument, you might not notice the yelling as much. But if you're overhearing it, all it sounds like is that you're a screaming psycho. So my suggestion and my question for you would be, is it possible for you to have I don't know how much money you have. Would it be possible and reasonable for you to continue doing the show, but do it at a third-party location the way that Rogan does?
When she's at work.
Like a studio.
No studio. We have 6 people watching. I'm so good and you're great. And yet 6 people. Okay.
Yeah, but imagine you would be more motivated to do
I lost one person
at a high level. Think about it. You wouldn't have the marriage drama. You wouldn't have
I usually do
the arguments, but it happens often
We don't
enough that
fight
she
that
wants
much.
to pack her bags, right?
No, it doesn't happen
Well,
often. And that's like the only, usually like she'll want money for something, right? And she'll be a little unhappy. And then eventually I say a truth, which is, I want to make her happy. Why be married if your goal is not to make the other person happy? So I reached that point. One day I said, wow, I know I love her because I don't like her to be unhappy.
okay.
But we don't really fight. I give in generally, eventually. Okay, here's 2,000 for a fence. Because
So
then I think I got the money, just give it to her. But then people on the internet tell me, oh, she only wants money from me.
no, she doesn't want money. She probably that's your way of dealing with it, but I think that she probably look, I don't know her, so this is all inferring. But based on human
Mhm.
behavior,
Mhm.
uh if
Thanks
your
for coming up.
people enjoy,
Mhm.
and I'm taking a neutral stance. I'm not taking a
You're
critical
so
stance.
diplomatic.
But
You're like a college professor.
yeah,
Look how carefully you talk.
that's what people think of me as a college professor. But I
No,
think that
seriously, the one thing you do is you don't talk in sentences. You really set it up, which you do remind me of it. You think it's funny, but you
no,
kind
I
of
don't
do.
know. I
So
don't know what it means, but I'll take the compliment because that's what I
no,
do.
it's you think in sophisticated ways. You just don't say, "Oh, you don't love her." You're taking sentences to set up your question,
Well, if you
right?
say that she is not responding well to just throwing money at her, maybe that's the case.
No, I just don't throw money at her.
Well, you said that she just wants your money.
No, people say that. That's what my trolls say.
When you give her
Rev,
money, Rev
well,
says that?
I tell you that I wrote you and said, um, I have to, who's the best on air? You, me and Rever, me and you, because I trust you. You're not going to porn bomb or any of that stuff. So actually, I feel more comfortable with you, but you don't come up very often. So thank you very much for this, by the way. I appreciate it.
Look, I'm here, because
No, I
I
don't know.
solve problems. That's what I do.
Okay,
And
well, solve my
I'm
problem.
here to solve the
Make it more like,
problem. And so you think that generally, look, I'll set it up this way. I'll say that like if you're an asshole and you don't give your wife money when you act like shit, then
uh-huh.
that's obviously worse. So you're doing something better than that person, right? It's better to at least compensate financially. Now,
Yeah,
what's
but
better
this
than
is very complicated because my father would scream at me. He'd feel bad when he wasn't drunk the next morning, and he
okay.
would put money underneath my door.
Okay. So you have a history of this. What I will say though,
Well,
and
money like that. Yeah,
we can come back to that. I just want to say
thank you.
uh what
I'm in therapy. I like that. I need it.
what's important about it is that we get to an understanding here that money is good. It's very useful. It's
Mhm.
the only currency that really exists.
True.
But
I mean, yeah. I
also
mean, other
there are
currency, but
types of currencies such as being kind, being nice, and if you're
no,
nice to a person, that will also go a long way. So if you're
in a
taking into
relationship for sure.
consideration
Yeah.
the fact
If
that
you're
she doesn't
functional
like you
people.
yelling, yeah, if you want to be functional,
I mean, Rev is an example of a dysfunctional relationship. So that wouldn't apply what you're saying.
and
But
we can talk about that in Rev's therapy session if he chooses to show up. But I
I
will
think he needs
say,
more therapy than me.
if you only want to look at, this guy's worse than me, therefore I'm good. Well, I'm better. I'm a better guy than Hitler, so I shouldn't improve my life.
No,
I'm a better guy than
we don't know
Jesse
that you're
Pot
better than
Awful,
Hitler.
so
We'd
I
have to
might
read your
not as well
thoughts.
improve myself.
Isn't that true?
I'm a better guy than Mersh from Revenge of the Sis, so I might as well not improve myself. I
Well,
still
you're
have room
funnier
for
than him.
improvement, even if
A lot
I'm
of room,
better than
like an
someone else.
auditorium. No
So
offense.
I think one thing,
Big rooms, big
and
auditoriums.
you're making a lot of jokes, and probably if I listen back, I will laugh at these jokes. I'm
Probably
moving
not.
fast here.
Don't waste the time.
But what I do want to understand is like, what is your top
Mhm,
level goal here? Are you trying to improve your
mhm.
life? Are you trying to be the man of the house that doesn't give a shit? What's your
No,
goal?
I do care. No, you don't marry a woman because you don't give a shit, or you should not, right? You're
Right.
married, so we're like, you know what I'm. You
So
can relate. Maybe.
yeah, so you want to you fuck up and you correct things, but making mistakes doesn't. Here's the thing that I think people need to separate, myself included. Calling yourself out for mistakes isn't about taking away your value as a person. It's about admitting when you fucked up or messed up or made a
I
mistake.
talked about this. My first marriage, it was about ego. Now I just want the fight to be over with. But she prolongs it. She told me her background that she'd get mad at her mom and wouldn't talk to her for like, was it a week one time? It's like gut twisting, but it's complicated because I don't care about ego. I'll admit I went too far, which I did, you know. Plus, English is their second language, so it's not even fair. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking water, and I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. I wanted to say I'm not being the best therapist right now, so let's do it.
No, you're just being a good guy.
Well, I got distracted because this guy, Tom Gully, points out that maybe I'm not the best therapist because I did bite a police officer's arm.
Which, the left or the right?
I don't remember, but he says HB sees a police officer's arm that hasn't been bitten, and he solves the problem by biting it.
Here's dummy troll. Comics are given leave because to be a comic is a little nuts. So who would take that away from a comic? He could work it into routine. Now he has real life consequences because he had to deal with this patrol officer, but he'll probably work it in at one point. He's a comic, dude, whether he's in a club today or not. He's a comic.
You know,
It's a different kind of creature.
The funny thing is, like, it wasn't just, even before I talked about it on the live stream, people were basically laughing the whole time. When I went into the mental health place where they had to the intake for
yeah,
course.
Yeah.
The guy doing the intake was like, "I'm sorry for laughing. This is just crazy. You really bit a cop's arm." Like, nobody could hear this. As professional as they were, nobody could hear it and take it seriously.
It's hard. It's something you hear about, but to actually know somebody who did it.
Yeah,
It's
because
funny.
they looked at me and they're like, you know, you don't look like, which I guess I should take as a compliment. He's like, you don't look like a guy who would do that.
B-Sox beat up a cop. You don't look like B-Sox.
I don't know.
That's a compliment.
I don't know if it's a compliment or an insult, because it's like, what do you think? I'm not capable of biting somebody. What do you?
Let me look at you. Well, I don't think about it, because somehow you never in what how many episodes? 13, 14. You never expressed desire to get violent. You were like the calm guy. I was the nutty guy, right?
Yeah, but
Russell Cook was.
That's the thing, though, right? That's what they tell you, and I don't know if they say this about some people, is the people who appear too calm, are the ones you got to watch out for, because they are bottling it up, and things might come out and go crazy.
That makes sense.
I don't know, but that's just the thing people say, but it does seem to make kind of make sense.
You don't seem crazy because you're offended when the last Busters. Are we going to do one this Sunday, by the way? I hope
9 p.m.
The last Busters, this guy came up and slimed you and made it seem like you had attacked Ukraine when you just got fooled on air. And yet these people give such weight to such a, to me, a so what? So you gave much weight to it.
You're talking about, shout out to the Red Bar fans who say I just took a full sip. So you're saying that that
all 6 of the people watching
the last the universal audience. So
many.
The last episode. Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. You could have a billion people. All
of China. I think India's got over 1 billion.
So we're
In America, we get 5 viewers.
so we should
Maybe
start
British
talking
or
about
Charlotte.
Chinese stuff. Is that what you're kind of?
No, we
I've
can
got
talk
red behind me. Isn't that like the flag of China?
I've joked with you about it. Oh, so much production. Did you go to the bank to take out a business loan for that background? Does it roll up?
Yeah. Well, at least it does.
It rolls down.
Dude, if I got to be honest, if I had like a real
beat
place that was fake.
Yeah.
All right, I'll lie. See, I listen, but I'm
Don't
still
lie.
talk too slow. So if I had a wall,
quicker
if
than
I had
me.
a house that I could like make into a place, I'd probably have a red bar light level setup by now. But
That'd be good.
I'm dealing with small square footage, so it doesn't really make
I'm dealing
sense
with a
to go
kitchen
all
table
out.
in the kitchen, hoping the phone rings.
Is it
It's pathetic, man. When whoever you are, to fight with somebody you love. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just not. I get it, because the closest people to you are the ones you're gonna fight with the most. But
yeah,
also,
except if you're a police officer.
well, people are asking, why did you fight with the police officer? Why did you fight him?
All 7 people want to know.
Clearly, I didn't do it under the best. Maybe it's not clear. So I'll explain myself. I don't just go out and think today's a good day to bite a cop. It was I led into it by being under the influence of drugs. Got glass in my stomach, was being driven to the hospital by my wife.
You got Hamas in the stomach.
Yeah,
his stomach is Jewish.
Hamas. Yeah, basically, my stomach looked like a grenade exploded into it with glass, and because I decided to jump through a window.
Mossad. His stomach is just ethnically Jewish, not religiously Jewish.
Exactly.
York went off on a big monologue.
He went on a monologue about that. Well, that's between
Jenna
him
went
and
off
God.
on, he only respects people. Like, how many people are really religious? We get that. But if you believe in God or something, man, and who is Jenna to talk on that? He's moralizing. Jenna went after Busta Malaka.
Look, I get it, because my stomach is United Nations and B-Sox has a seat at the table.
The UN don't like the Jews.
But it was just a joke that I'm fat, but it's okay. Try and keep up.
I didn't even notice that. You look pretty good, actually.
I tried to jump through a window.
Men can have a few pounds and look fine.
We'll see about that. Now that so I try to jump through a window just for the universal audience, and then we can get back to your point.
I got floors? One.
What?
How many floors will the window be
on? So this wasn't like
floor?
This was a weird setup. This was actually a laundry room window into the kitchen through a door.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have a laundry room? That's pretty cool.
I have that's actually where I shot season 2 of the old Busters show.
Well, that wasn't really Busters.
That was the fake. That was the show called Busters. That wasn't.
Yeah, because
didn't have
when
the
I
true
designed
ingredient.
the show, it was 2 people. That wasn't Busters.
The real
that was RDA and Busters. No, I'm serious.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I realize. It's like it was Busters in name only. It wasn't.
It was. True show. I don't know. What were you thinking?
What I was thinking at the time was trying to have consistency.
Well, that makes sense.
That was it. I
kind of see that.
I couldn't think of a new name, so
you couldn't think of a new name.
I wanted to keep. Yeah.
How about Hostbusters?
Hostbusters, but then it was like confusing because it was the channel name, and I didn't know what to do.
How about host busting? Put up an I. See, I'm good at that.
Yeah,
right?
so you're
good at.
But the problem is,
routines.
If you made up a name, then you would own the show again, and it would be back to square one.
I never owned the show. It was just both of us, and then Russell came in. I never felt like I owned it. In fact, you had ultimate control, obviously, on the channel. But you go off a lot, which was good for me because I learned to monologue and all that. I didn't know, man. I guess it was good for me. I just thought you'd come back in an hour or two. By hour 12. I
Yeah.
was ready to call it a day and a night and a morning.
Well, that's the
I like those times.
we're
Actually.
trying to
I
go
do.
more professional in this season. Less
Yeah.
walk off.
Do I have to get like a union card?
Yes.
Yeah.
The streamers, the
So I can make $2.
podcast. What is the name of it? The Podcasters Association of America.
Yeah. How
They
did I forget?
yeah.
I think I'm already a member.
Do you know about no, that was
Geno's
Todd
a
Glass's
member of
thing.
that, but he's a dick. What?
Now, Geno is a dick in more ways than one. But I just just wanted to explain that night with the police officer. I went through the window, got glass in my stomach. I was being driven to the hospital, out of my mind. And while I was in the car, they told me to get out of the car, which I don't know why you would tell a drunk person that who's a passenger to get out of a car. Evidently, they did. I wasn't in the right mind, and I bit the guy on the arm. There was like 3 cops fighting me, which is one reason why I would suggest don't just like how there's a height requirement for just like how it's not hateful of people's bodies to have a certain
come up with that one.
height requirement.
Height requirement. Let's height requirement. Like what has a height requirement?
Well,
No.
I think you know.
No, I don't know. Like what?
When you go on roller coasters, there's a height requirement.
Oh, when you go on rides.
Yeah. So if something that frivolous has a height requirement,
never can go on rides, by the way, because he's kind of short. Remember Cosmic? Yeah. Oh, he's really short. I have a likeness of him. I probably showed you.
You have you have the same.
By the way, I feel bad that we have so few viewers. It's kind of special when you come up. So I kind of feel bad about that. Sorry.
No, I was just surprised that
there he is. Likeness of Cosmic.
Now I have a question about that.
By the way, the likeness is taller than the actual Cosmic. Go ahead.
Now he's a short guy.
He's a short guy.
Those guys wanted to like be friends with me again.
Which guys?
The RDA folks.
What's going? How so? I'm kind of interested in my old nemesis.
I don't know. They even talked about. I don't know. I'm not hanging out with them, so that's why I kind of.
They're so happening. I tried to go after them, and people didn't care.
Yeah,
they really don't. Sorry.
No, it's cool. It's just like
they care about Jimmernam. So I do know Jimmernam, so I talked about him. Poon Handler, who knows?
Poon Handler.
Talking about Poon.
Yeah. Now, yeah, like I don't know.
Are you working out your routine on the biting? That's going to show
There we go. Yeah, don't use a MacBook. All right, here we go. Laptop battery just died, but I plugged it in. I get what you're saying now. See, originally I thought you were just yeah, you wait, you're moderate at what? Okay. So that's good. You don't want to be out of control, even though it's like fun to get hyped up sometimes. If you're going to bipolar, like that's why I had to get rid of Adderall. No, but uh I think so. Because when I take things like Adderall, I get so jacked up that I want to like okay. Yeah.
So the fact that it makes you stimulated or more focused doesn't indicate any pathology or problem.
Yeah, it okay, so sometimes it does that. But here's the problem, right? Sometimes it then I would say more so the issue isn't that it isn't whether or not it makes me too excited.
Mhm.
The real problem is that it makes my brain work too well. And people might say, well,
Well, it
how is it
focuses. It helps
possible to
you
work?
focus.
And the way that it works too well when it
Mhm.
focuses, though, is that
Mhm.
I start to remember shit that maybe I
Oh,
shouldn't remember,
that's
like
me.
arguments, fights, things that happened, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm
Long-term
back
memory
there.
comes up.
Yeah.
Long-term memory. Yeah.
And so,
Maybe it impacts memory neurologically. That could be, huh?
yeah, it's like overclocking your computer.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you have access to the full function of your brain,
Right.
which you would think would be good, but now you're
I think it'd be too
ruminating.
much. I have trouble with low functioning of my brain, but going full out.
So maybe a slight dose of something like that would be good, but
Yeah, you
not.
practice. Yeah, you like with right. You try to find the right balance. So experiment. What works for you? I'm
And
serious.
and maybe lack of now Jeremy Peterson is saying sleep deprivation
Mhm.
combined with that might be an issue. And that is
Might,
sometimes what
might.
yeah,
It's always an issue. Sleep deprivation. Right.
I guess so. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but I guess
Yeah.
it causes you to
People, I guess they do deal with animal people. You will, if you don't have sleep for a number of days, you go psychotic and you can actually die. They've done a
wow.
bunch of sleep studies.
All right, so then that's why I can't touch that stuff.
Well, the cliche is true. Sleep, people need sleep.
Yeah.
And you need sleep, but is something causing that your deprivation?
I don't know. I just never been good at sleeping. Never had a
Wow,
good like regimen. But it's what
wow.
I'm saying is that it's made much worse by taking stimulants. So
Okay,
if I get off of that, I'm on a better track,
yeah.
you know.
So you're on stimulants these days?
I'm prescribed, but I'm not after that
Oh,
experience. Just like I stopped weed like 6 months ago.
no, didn't know that.
Yeah, just, and I'm not one of these anti-weed people. I don't give a shit what other people
Mhm.
do, but yeah, just like too much happening, too much,
You've been through a lot. You've
hearing
been through a
shit.
lot.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Yeah.
not the
You have.
time to hear that. But
How are you feeling these days? Is there a change?
I don't know. I'm just trying not to become, like Brody Stevens or any of the people who
What a reference.
I love Brody Stevens, but
I love
clearly the
Brody
mania got
Stevens.
to him.
He would go on Rogan, but he died. Did he kill himself?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah,
What a shame. Yeah.
there's a video of Tony Hinchcliffe like
Mhm.
relentlessly going after him.
Yeah.
And I don't think to Tony's credit, I think he's so mentally ill, at which, I'm not a
Mhm.
professional, I don't know, but the way he acts would suggest some kind of mental
We're
illness.
talking about Brody or
So Tony
Hinchcliffe?
Hinchcliffe was saying to Brody, he was
Mhm.
saying he was doing this thing with that,
I saw those clips. Wasn't that in the comedy club? Because Brody would oftentimes put that up, and I'd watch sometimes. It's like what 4 years ago. Been a while.
Yeah, he was filming Tony perform. And rather than
Mhm.
asking him to leave, what he
Mhm.
does is he says, "There he goes, Brody
Mhm.
Stevens."
Wow.
And Brody took that as like a manipulative thing of like, dude, just if
Mhm.
you want me to leave, just ask me, but don't say
Mhm.
there he goes.
Yeah.
And that turned into a big deal.
Brody was one of those comics that would be very sharing, but he had mental problems, and how sad, man. But he used to come on Rogan all the time. But he had a following. It was like a clitch. He would play drums. Remember that, Brody?
Yeah.
I never quite got that. Um,
I don't know. He was just a
it was a
different guy.
it was a strange kind of humor, quirky.
Yeah.
It was a likability about the guy. That's why I liked the guy. I liked him.
Yeah, he was one of a kind.
Original.
Like Casey Rocket. He's just
Mhm.
I don't know if you know him, but he's also
No.
just out of
There's a cliche in comedy for these kinds of guys, but they usually don't hit the big time. Though someone made a documentary about Brody, or a series. That Zach guy,
who's that?
the guy he has a Greek name, Zach Monteris.
Zach Amico? Oh, Zach Bender. I don't know him.
The guy was in those movies. Anyway, he made a doc. He put Brody in. The insiders would put Brody in.
Oh,
their projects.
Galifianakis. Yeah.
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 So people like Brody, but he wasn't mainstream.
You could
Probably never would be.
The thing about Brody that I don't know if everybody could see was you could directly see the mania.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could
Yeah.
see the crazy, which,
Yeah.
and I say that not hatefully because I think maybe
No, we liked him. We liked him.
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
But to I guess to a larger crowd, this comes back to what you were saying about like yelling and stuff. When people hear him yelling, they
Mhm.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Is he yelling for comedic purposes or is he
Correct.
yelling because he wants to fucking kill me or hurt me?
But that made him interesting because it made him unpredictable. He was very kinetic. He used to be a baseball player. He actually knew some baseball people. So there was a mix between what was reality and what was the Brody-esque kind of deal. And it was always kind of hard to figure out. But it was interesting.
For
It was
sure.
like an exercise. Is Brody being real? Is he on medication? Yeah. Interesting guy.
When we saw
But
him,
we had to work at it.
dude, I got to tell you, like when we saw him in person,
Mhm.
at the show, it was more of a show when he wasn't on stage
Yeah.
because he was waving around his baseball bat. He was doing
Whoa.
jumping jacks and push-ups. The guy was, high energy,
Yeah.
like he said.
High energy.
So
But it's a niche of comedy. I think a lot of comics liked him, probably more than main. People want the quick laugh. Brody was like an exercise. He was kind of like a high intellect, but he didn't have the genius of a Hedberg. He wanted to be. But he
Well,
played to the difference, I guess. He didn't want to fit in. Or did he?
Well, that's the thing, right? Like he wanted success, but he didn't want to do it the same way as everyone else.
Yeah.
And people have a big bias against anybody who's, I've noticed with comedy in general, like anybody who's not specifically not a stiff, the further you get away from being a nerd
Yeah.
standing still on a stage,
Yeah.
the more criticism there is. You know, if you're good looking,
Andy Kaufman was not loved by the masses.
right? Because he
To
did shit
address
that
point.
was wild, right? But
Well, he went away from it. You're talking about moving away, and he moved away a lot.
although he did have a certain cult popularity, right? Like,
Well, he had it through his TV show Taxi. That's what he was known for, and people wanted that character.
okay, so
But he had a cult following, yeah, on his performance art. He did.
Yeah. So like if you insult someone, and I feel really, Andy Kaufman is a guy I feel conflicted about because as an audience member, I might resent him. Like, you don't give a shit about me. I'm just part of your larger performance art that you're really entertaining yourself. But at the same time, it's like you're doing it purely for the art. So it is good.
It's complicated. Jarvita, I always thought, tried it, but very few people can be Andy Kaufman. It's very, very hard to pull off.
Yes.
But you can want to be, and that's a problem. I don't think he's a comic you want to copy.
Yeah, you got to do it well. I mean, like, it's
I think
fun
Jarvita
to do.
went for it. We could talk about Jarvita because I think of her as kind of a performance person.
So, in other words, you're saying the joke is on us. So the viewers could maybe enjoy it, but we're not going to enjoy it.
I don't think the intent is is a specific reaction. I think the intent is a reaction, like a painting. They want you to react, whether you like it or not. They want a reaction, not a uniformed. Like Rodney Dangerfield is pretty basic and funny.
He wants you to laugh.
So people react pretty much. You know, nobody gets respect. Whereas Jarvita, what's going on? I don't. Or Andy Kaufman, of course.
Yeah.
And do you care? Because Andy Kaufman did a famous routine where he read F. Scott Fitzgerald. You know, that was it. So how many people in the audience would really want that? It's a good story, but would you pay money to watch a guy read F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby? Probably not.
You would have to really be into their world, right? And
yeah, good point.
So, I mean, I guess it's I mean, okay, Kanye, he often says that he's doing a Andy Kaufman thing.
Oh, he does?
I think the intent is, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, is that
he's copying a Jewish comedian. Interesting.
You could do, yeah, that's what he says. And I think it's I don't know. It seems like a sort of, it's the ultimate peak narcissistic way of performing because what it is I can do anything.
Yep.
And I'm just going to do it. And my goal is that you still like me, even if I'm like crawling on the ground.
You still pay attention enough, like him or not. Yeah.
Which is
good point.
True. And it works. And I think it's part of what, why Bert Kreischer will never retire and get sober, because he can take his shirt off and be a fool and still make $1 billion.
It's like it's in a way it's like David Waltz in that. This is my opinion, of course. David Waltz can be brilliant and funny when he was drunk. When he sobered up, to me, he don't got it. So in a state of consciousness, one is enabled, one acts differently.
You're suggesting that David Walsh needs to stay drunk to hit his spot of like, or whatever.
Alcoholism is not worth 400 views.
Let's say not alcohol. Let's say
if he was making a lot of money at it, maybe.
Let's say he was taking GABA, Alcarel, alcohol without the hangover.
Okay.
You know about that
He
stuff?
could get drunk without after effects.
Yeah, that's a real thing. But
Yeah, I believe it.
but yeah, I mean, if he could, you're saying that he needs a substance to get to his
No, I think
greatness.
he shouldn't drink if he was making $1 million a week. Obviously, that's different. And there are comedians. But I'm saying that I feel bad for David. He's real. We both know David. David did shows with, was it David and Buster's? So,
Yeah,
and
we
I,
did
I
Dave
go
and
way back with
Buster's.
David. He interests me, right? Because he's obsessed with AOC, for one thing. Why is he obsessed with AOC? Every show he's talking about AOC,
I
which
mean,
interests me.
he wants AOC to live in a larger. His main
No, he
gripe, as
doesn't.
far
He
as I
doesn't
can
like the
see,
guy.
is that
He hates the guy, right? He
he
hates the guy.
hates
They
him
hate each other.
because I don't know, because
I don't
he's
know.
Middle Eastern. I
AOC
don't know.
says that David goes in a lot of DMs of women, trying to get women, and they don't want him. But David's a very curious person because he doesn't say much about himself, really. And then he lies. He apparently was never in prison.
Um,
And HB knows him well, and he's a friend of David. So
wait, so what's your question about David?
David doesn't really share, but when he does, oftentimes it's made up. Like he said he was in prison. He even came up with a
Oh,
pudding story. Did you ever hear that story of his?
no.
He was eating a pudding pop and a fight broke over somehow his pudding pop, a riot. I believed it. But then it turned out that David is a process server, or was, and process servers are officers of the court and they can't have a felony, which means David never had a felony, so he was never in jail.
Okay.
Did
I
you
mean,
get
I
that?
don't know. I
Well,
think
that's the
that
story. You don't
he's
have to
an Andy
believe it.
Kaufman type, you know?
Oh, he's definitely
He
not.
does it for the bit. No, to some degree he is,
No,
because
no, I
he
agree with that.
he's
But I
admitted
just
it to
don't like the
me.
comparison to Kaufman. Yeah, he does it for the little performance.
Haven't you been doing it for the past like 20 minutes?
No,
Isn't it?
I'm the opposite of it. This is real. My wife is not here. I had a fight. Poon Handler, I got mad because Poon Handler, I just said, look, he's talked about this finger in my butt for years.
All right.
And
He's
this is
going
when
there
I was
again.
assaulted. So I never knew how to react. I said they want a reaction, but it builds up, you know? So now I'm saying every time you bring up that, I can't help it. The visualization, the words, and I kind of remember it. So stop. And he keeps defending it. So it interests me that why does he do it? It can't be for the views.
I thought he was over it. I mean,
No, he made a stream. It's like he apologized to everybody except me. But I'm the one he does it to.
well, the weird thing about it is he's
Weird.
he's anti homophobia now. That's
Poon
his,
Handler?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So if
Really?
he's pro gay
I
and
didn't know he's pro-gay.
anti-rape,
Uh-huh.
then how
Well, everybody
exactly
should be anti-rape. I mean, that's not
Well, if you're
controversial.
I mean,
That shouldn't
I
be
agree.
like sides. Everybody should be.
I
And there's a
agree.
couple perverts.
However,
Yeah.
if you're the type of guy who's saying about people that they should,
What?
that they're, talking about things they do all the time.
Well, here's the truth. The truth is that I don't know if you know the story or not, that he unfortunately some horrible, actually I think it was a kid, sent him CP, right? Horrible, right?
Send
He
it
talks
to
about it.
Poon Handler.
Well, let me tell you the story then, all right? Because I'm involved in this, trying to help. So this is all on air, he said. So someone sent him CP, right? Which later turned out, I think, to be a kid. Regardless, it's against the law, it's horrible. So he had trouble dealing with it. Who would not, right? Who wouldn't? So he needed to talk about it. Like I kind of need to talk about my wife, right? So thank you for coming up. Don't go away. So guess who he called? So he got the CP. He started crying and he needed to talk about it. So who did he phone? Guess.
The police.
No. Maybe he told the police, but he needed to talk to somebody. because it's just too much for the brain. If you're a decent human being to see that, I don't even want to imagine it, right? Kids being, evil
Yeah.
like that. So who did he needed to, you got to talk about or express it or something. Who did he go to?
Let me guess.
You want to guess? Yeah, guess.
A fellow YouTuber.
Yeah, he went to Othello. He found a play by Shakespeare, and he went to the actor who played Othello.
Are you a big fan? Is that what it sounds like? Okay, you're just doing wordplay. I get it.
No, there's a word that sounded like Othello to me.
Very good.
Othello was African American, I believe, or more. You know about Othello? Jealousy drove him. Did he kill his wife? Something like that.
Did he?
Yeah, I think in the play. I don't think I ever saw a performance. So I know the basic outline. He's a Moor, and he gets jealous, and there's an evil guy who drives him to jealousy. I think he killed someone. It might have been his wife. He was jealous about his wife, but she was innocent. That kind of stuff. Yeah, but he was black. He was a Moor. So sometimes they have usually African American.
Is Moor, is that like a racial slur?
No, Italians, they say Italians are partly black because the Moors were in Morocco and they invaded Iberia and Spain and went up in Italy. So as they invade, they fuck. Most armies do that. So they had so much sex that there's a lot of black heritage within people like Frank DeRosa. And should they be proud of it? I don't know. So not many Italians historically have been proud of that connection. There's a famous movie, True Romance, I think, where the guy he was being tortured, right? I think it was Christopher Walken, maybe. And he needed to be put out of his misery. So he had to get the guy torturing him to kill him. And he did it by telling the guy that he had a lot of black blood or more within him. And the guy got so incensed at a historical fact that he killed the guy. He lost control.
He got
so there's a lot of stuff with that.
Wow.
Yeah, Moors were invaders, man. And they were Muslim, I guess. And they were black.
So okay. So the Moors were Muslim.
I think. I'm not a big Moor expert. I assume they are. Or were. Yeah. And they attacked the Catholics. You get it? Because Spain was Catholic. Italy was Catholic. Or is Catholic. But the Moors, everybody's invading everyone else. And the Moors got in there. Right.
But you're saying that gay people that are basically black.
No. I didn't say that.
Italian people.
There are gay people who are black.
I would say all three of them are similar.
Yeah, of course. Italian people are similar to gay people.
No, but you're saying that they all had the same they all had the same racial background, right?
No, there's a lot of mixing, but it's well known that the Moors invaded these countries and there's black heritage. I'm not making this up.
Okay. So who is it an insult against?
Well, it shouldn't be an insult, but there's a lot of historically anti-black feeling. So a lot of people, even still, remember that Chris Rock joke? Did you hear that? Remember that one?
Which one?
He was talking to the audience. He was talking about being black, and he was saying, most people, at least at that point in time, probably want to be white, and I'll prove it to you. How many people, white people, do you want to remain white or do you want to be like me? And I'm a millionaire. You get
yeah.
Oh, I like old Chris Rock. I don't know. Did he get too rich?
Didn't
he have his peak period? Yeah, that takes away the hunger or something. Or maybe you have all these thoughts in your head. It's like the first album and you put them all out there and then you have to recreate it and it just don't hold up as much.
Well, it takes 10 years to put out a good album and then you got to spend,
I think it's your whole life goes into that first routine or something,
Yeah.
And some people get better, but not most. Like Rodney Dangerfield, we talked about this, got better, right?
Yeah.
But most scientists, it's universally accepted. This is not original thought. Most scientists believe that their most creative and best work is before 30. It's kind of a well-known kind of belief, and it's true. Einstein, all of them, because somehow the brain, you're the most creative before you're 30. I really haven't studied
Okay.
that, but that's what they say.
And then you're just all turns to shit, right?
Yeah. Well, look at musicians. Most of their early stuff is their best. Most.
Damn.
Right?
So they say that, yeah.
Comedy's different, I think. Carlin was great.
Yeah.
Later, Carlin was better than when he. A lot of these comedians, start off. They go on these old shows. Like Pryor was mainstream, and Carlin, and then something happens. Lenny Bruce. Can I tell you about Lenny Bruce?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because it came up. So when I did shows for RDA, who I tried to recreate routines of comedians. I couldn't do it like a comedian. I wasn't pretentious, but their words were so powerful. So I did. Lenny Bruce, this where he's going after bigotry and he's trying to take away the power of the word, and he keeps saying like, "I'll have one N word," and there's a kike. That routine?
Yeah.
So it's a great anti-bigotry routine. So I did the routine, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago for RDA. So last week or 2 weeks ago, Rostog called me a racist by only clipping the parts where I was saying the N-word. He neglected to say it was part of a Lenny Bruce routine. This was like 2 weeks ago. That's sick, don't you think?
Now, I would say that I think that the reason he does that is because you also moral fag about
moral what?
No offense. I didn't mean to say that. That's
moral.
That's a hate word. The point
is,
is, you call people out for hate words, so he's pointing out that you use hate words.
A lot of people do. No, but I didn't use hate words.
And I don't think that you were using it in a hateful way.
No, that's not why he did it. He knew. He left out the part where I said this is Lenny Bruce. He left out all that part. Do you get what he did?
No,
he just put in the routine without the people understanding it was a routine.
Look, we're not dealing with the smartest guy. Look,
he's kind of smart.
I'm not gonna.
I think Rostog is kind of smart.
I think he doesn't. Okay, then he just doesn't care. His goal is to get you upset.
Yeah, he does care.
And so what he's doing
is
in
a good way.
Yeah, he doesn't care about offending you. So what he's doing is saying, "Oh, people hate being known as people who say the N-word or say whatever word. So I'm going to let people know they say that word."
I think I came up because RDA is trying to finagle. I hope I said that right. Around this happening, her name is Meth Noodles, and she's gone after Jimmernam, right? And RDA has a thing with Jimmernam. So I came in the Discord. I finally went to a Discord and said, let's be neutral, because Jimmernam is attacking this good lady. But there was Mr. Cardinal, and there was Ross, and those slime buckets. And I left the Discord, but started to call out Rostog. So they're concerned that I will tell the truth. I will tell the truth. It's a Rostog, and they're trying to, because that's what they do. They can't get any views with shows.
But also, you're giving them more press than they've ever gotten, because you bring them up constantly.
Look, I bring them up, but nobody wants to hear it.
No, they want to hear it. They want to
hear it, but
they want you to be relevant.
Wants to know about them. Right.
Let's just put it this way. When they invited me into your server, into their RDA server, you know what the first thing was that they posted? What? It was you on Rev's show, and they were talking about things that you were saying, and they're like, ha ha, can you believe Sam is still mentioning us? So they get off on your
I affect people that way, even though
yes, you have power.
Talk about me.
So you can choose to make them feel
no, I think he truly hates me. I think Ross truly hates me.
I don't know. He was saying he wanted to do the Sam Hill Gang show again.
Yeah, I don't believe it. But what he should do, this is what he should do. He's got all these shows I did, and Jimmernam, you know Jimmernam, right?
Yeah.
He goes by Morbid X. I did a show, and he came up. And I ripped into him for an hour with the truth. So that's what Ross should show, these old shows. Because people are interested in Germinam, but he probably purposely knows how good I am, and he doesn't want to show it. That's hate, man.
But the thing is, you're already, you know, you're
It
still,
amuses me.
don't you kind of feel like you're winning simply by the fact that you still are streaming and he doesn't have he doesn't want
I
to
never
stream
felt
anymore.
that competitive because I don't want his channel to go down.
No, but you hate him so much, but
I don't hate him.
you dislike him so much.
Dislike, yeah.
And yet you're still streaming. So obviously he's not in a good place. If he was,
he should be competitive.
20 community posts.
But he never did good shows.
Yeah.
The best shows were with me.
Look,
he goes on streams and he would just get stoned. And he had the same group of people. And Rex can be good, like him or not. But who wants to hear Cosmic week after week after week? This phony shaman. Cosmic was only good when people believed his lies. And I made him my co-host. He turned out to be phony. He was no shaman. He turned on Sans. He turned on me. These people who attacked you, I kept telling you, they're not in your league.
Well, that's why I don't shit on them, because I don't have anything to prove. That's why I don't really talk about them that much, because I think that, you know, I don't, you know, I also don't go after
you know, B-Sox.
People who used to hang out in Unbleached chat, because who cares? B-Sox, I know him.
You know, you see the comment?
No, what does it say?
Here's Glitch Switcher. Now, someone said it wasn't him, but I saw that he has my name in a title. He's going after me. So this guy, troll or him, is saying, I'm exposing your habits, you slime ball. It interests me that he wants my attention. I'm not the biggest streamer, but these people, some of them want my attention, man. I'm kind of flattered, you know.
Yeah.
Like Jorg, the best thing he does is an imitation of my finger, which I find
does an imitation of your finger.
Do you know what I you know about the finger video I put out?
No,
you don't know that.
No, I'm not familiar. What's
so
the finger
AOC?
video?
You know, AOC is a slime bucket, but people can wonder who I am, right? And that's a fair comment. Why don't I show myself? You challenged me on that, right? That's fair. I have reasons. Like Reb did it. Oh, how wonderful. Did they make memes of you? I think RDA made some memes of you. Not flattering, correct? If I remember.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if people.
They were creative, though. I'll give them that. They can. Some of those people are creative in their evil work, right?
Yeah.
And they kept calling you this Jewish guy, but he was raised a Catholic, so you don't even get that right. That's kind of offensive.
Yeah, optimistic
him
people.
As a Catholic.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they're hateful people. That's why they did that.
If people want to like me and they're anti-Semitic, then I'm not a Jew. If they don't want to like me, and they're anti-Semitic, then I am a Jew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Jorg thinks I'm Jewish. I'll take it. I said, I'll be the Mossad. Why not? They're very high functioning, you know, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Your stomach works all the time. The joke there is that he was raised a Catholic, but his father is Jewish. So you got some heritage, or whatever you call it, in you, but you practice Catholicism, or did. You told a wonderful story. It's so, I don't know, it tells something that your father, your Jewish father, doesn't really practice or something, but he wanted you to go to church. That says a lot somehow. I'm not sure what.
Well, it says it doesn't make the impact, because all I'm thinking is like, okay, so it's good enough for me, but it's obviously not good enough for you. So
I don't get that. I don't believe it, but I want my son to. I don't get that.
I get what he thought, but it just doesn't work. If you want somebody to believe in God, then you have to, like, if you wanted your kids to believe in Santa, not that I'm comparing God to Santa, I'm just saying it's the same premise. Like, if you wanted to believe in Santa, you wouldn't say, hey, Santa's coming down the chimney. I don't believe in him, but he's here.
Well, I have an issue with Santa.
Yeah.
I think I'll go against the grain.
Okay.
This isn't my thought. I dig the Christmas stuff. I believe the basic tenet of the birth of our Savior. But honestly, as a kid, I wanted the presents and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at it in one way, telling your kids that Santa Claus exists is a violation. Because I never thought my parents lied, but that's an outright lie. So yeah, you like the Christmas, the gifts, believing, but it's the first instance, I think, where a parent lies.
Yes.
On something important. So I'd say, as a past educator for 2 years and degrees, probably don't lie. I mean, don't lie. And when a kid gets old enough, he figures it out and then says, my parents lied to me. Now, because when you get old enough, you're proud. Oh, I don't believe in that anymore. Well, why did you believe in it? Because your parents basically told you.
See, that's why I wouldn't have kids.
It's complicated.
That's why I wouldn't have kids, because I wouldn't be able to navigate the morals of whether or not to.
But most parents don't.
What?
Who does? Who does?
Tell them the truth.
Yeah, it's life, man. It's there's that the script, and there's the real beneath. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's what you're supposed to say versus.
Like my script, common one is do well, do good, get educated, marry someone you love, and have children, and you got it made in the shade. Wow, we're down to 2 people. Whoa. Oh, wow. Only with you would I stay up. Because it's worth something just talking to you.
Well, what do we got to do? We got to liven it up.
Interests me.
We got to talk about.
Talk about sex? People like that.
Yeah, talk about. Okay, tell people what they want to hear. Talk about sexual market value.
Yeah, talking about sex is one of those things. Not nearly as good as
sexual market value.
Doing it, right? It's
what do you think?
It's just a different experience. You can't. I don't get off on hearing about it. Some people.
Well, do you think it's gay? That's what Red Bar's whole thing is, right?
What?
That it's gay.
What do you mean by gay?
He said it's gay to talk about.
Does that mean
women.
It's bad? The synonym is bad. Is that it?
No, he loves gay people. He's just saying.
Yeah, but obviously we're not talking about the homosexual act. So I thought he meant that's bad.
Well, he said
you're a sexual gay person.
That if you talk about it, you're a sexual gay person.
Well, that's ridiculous.
In the words of Wendy.
Shit. Well, that's ridiculous. Wendy Pack?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been on with her, right?
A while ago. Yeah, she said I wear beta shoes. She called me a sexual gay person.
She liked you a lot, didn't she?
I mean, I don't know. Is that what you say to someone you like, that they wear beta shoes?
Yeah, I think she just hears that and tries to be funny. I don't remember recently, but she really, really liked you a lot in the day.
Yeah, we used to,
Yeah. She was on Busters, I think.
Yeah, back in
the problem is, I think, with Wendy, people like her, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't necessarily watch her for entertainment. You know what I mean? To me,
you're saying you should.
I don't. Do you watch her? Do you watch her?
No, I haven't watched in a while.
Why?
Because there's always like 15 people on panel, and they're all talking over each other.
No, but she sometimes, at least she did, she would put up a train yard, and that would be up. I'm saying that you got to perform. People will watch it first, but then you got to produce. And I just no.
Yeah.
She's a great guest, but as a streamer, sorry.
But now it feels like we're picking on the people of.
Well, she's much more successful than us. Believe me, she didn't get 4 views, so don't feel too bad.
Oh, what is she? She gets a nice number.
She makes money. I think she gets donations.
Oh, well then what the what are we doing
Don't
wrong?
feel bad.
What are we doing wrong?
What are we doing right? We're not doing it for money.
We're not doing it for money. We're doing it to get no views.
No, that's not why I'm doing it. Sometimes I get views.
I know.
I got to 1,000. B-Sox never did. Yeah. But
no, do you have a goal of getting to 2,000 on any channel?
No, I found out that no, because you get there. In fact, I lost interest. So I had this Sam Righteous channel. Got to 1,400. I lost interest. So when I forgot the password, I didn't care enough to. I think if you give your phone number or something, you can get it. I didn't care enough because I wanted 1,000 to prove that marker. And so the answer is no.
So
sure, I'd like 2 or 3 or 4, but it doesn't motivate me. I don't care that much.
I
don't care that
Why is 2,000 such a fine? Okay, so what would be the next number after 1,000 that would like really
that
make
would have
you
an effect?
Yeah.
What a great question. And I was serious.
1 million.
I was arrogant and wanted to get new busters. I want to get you monetized. Anyway, but for you,
we'll see what happens.
I wanted you to kind of thank me or something.
Thank you.
To get your approval. Yeah.
What, when we get to 1,000?
Well, on busters, I wanted your approval, and yet sometimes I acted the opposite way. I don't know.
I don't know how to give. Well, here's the thing, right? If you're too nice to me, then it will backfire.
Yeah.
And I will be hateful.
Right.
No, that's not
which
true.
Which is something you should work on if that's true.
Yeah, of course.
Do you self-sabotage?
I mean, considering the fact that I deleted my old channel, I would say yes. Yeah.
I didn't know you deleted it. I thought it got taken down or something. You deleted it?
Yeah.
Really? All the busters?
Yeah, because I thought it was just like, but then I wanted to bring it back up and it wouldn't let me
No, I always thought you take 6 hours and cut it down to 1 hour. You got a mighty fine stream.
You're saying edit the best parts?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. All
right.
right.
It just works.
Yeah.
But who wants to take the time?
Best
if you're making money, that's different. Yeah. There were moments because I replayed some of them. There were definite moments. White Showers was pretty great, I thought.
Yeah, that's an idea. Like the best of the show. But here's my question: What do you think about?
I don't think you should do it. It's not worth it now.
Well,
don't feel bad.
We are the best.
We can be.
No, here's the thing, right?
I mean, not today.
I think that's what upsets people. I think that's what upsets people is if we say we're the best and we also shit on people. That's like double insulting.
But I don't really go around saying that. Other people, B-Sox, he's the best. AOC, the best. Poon Handler said the other day that he's the only one who can go 12 hours and be entertained. Motherfucker, what about me? I started that 12-hour thing within our universe. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's very,
I think
sick.
B-Sox got like 400 subs or whatever he has, and then all the approval just went to his head. Like he feels like he's Howard Stern or something now. Like his
reality testing is off. He might I made a theory about him that he's reality test. Well, first of all, he's a drunk. So it does change your state of consciousness. But dude, these people, there's like people who have a life and people who don't. People have a partner and you get that. But a lot of these people, Wazzy Doggy, the internet had something to do with him and me. The internet caused this morning indirectly for this fight. So, whoa.
Listen,
don't come on too much because you're married.
I don't have much to say about those folks. I think they already
RDA
have retired from streaming.
Basically. Well, they're around, but nobody cares.
So I don't have to own them.
As more people watch. I'm saying nobody cares.
Yeah.
No, you're potential. I've always thought of you potential. All you got to do is have the right platform to bring out your talent or support. or somebody to say, yeah, keep going to the club. You're great. I don't know if you have that support. You're attacked. The last stream, it was ridiculous.
What?
That the way they attacked you.
Oh, the Busters.
Who was
coverage?
I got the guy confused. That was a real slime bucket. Who was that? Whoosh or what's his name?
That was no, that wasn't Whoosh.
Not
that
that
was
good.
God awful.
Okay, I was up with him. He's not that good. I mean, okay, it's cool that you have a good voice and you got the hair, but you got to be good. And I'm serious because I talked on him before. He's just not in your league. Or I'd be watching him, and I don't.
He's I just don't do that kind of shit. Like the whole we're gonna
it didn't fit in with Two Busters
and all
at
that
all.
kind of.
It completely did not fit in. I'm glad I left. That's not Busters coming up and doing the usual. I got you. That was never Busters, right?
Yeah, it's just not what we do.
It's easy to do. We went like right now. I did a couple of attempts at humor, but you got to keep trying, and maybe you'll hit it.
Yeah.
But these people can't even hit it, man. They can't even try. How many truly funny people are there? Not many.
There's only 1,000. That's what Joe Rogan says.
I think there's truth that the people who get paid to make money, you can get a lot. You can get a lot, but it's a profession where how many people make money? Not very many. Not very many. Maybe the most selective profession of all, anywhere. There's more movie stars than comics. Very few. And then they don't last. And then they go out of fashion, like Dice. Then they come back like Rodney. But usually they, like Richard Pryor toward the end, he was kind of an in-your-face comic, right? The Sunset Strip concerts. But then he got old and he got weak. And then it got modern. And all these lesser comics would bring him on and give him dinners. It was sad because these are the people he kind of went after. And at the end, I guess he wanted their love. The end of comics sometimes is not too cool. Johnny Carson.
Talking about the end of his career?
What happened to him in life? He got Parkinson's or something. So here was a brilliant comic. He took money for movies and it made him rich, but it was crap. The movies were not equal to his talent, which was stand-up. So it's a Shakespearean story of corruption. A brilliant comedian who was offered millions to make Drek movies. Would I turn it down? Some bands are like that too, right?
Yeah.
They sell out basically for the money. But who am I? Because money, like you said at the beginning, determines status. So he was struggling, doing okay. And then he was offered millions. But still, he did sell out.
You think he's
his life? Well, did you see some of his movies?
No.
You can't remember?
No, I didn't see his movies.
Exactly. Or care enough to go back. No, they didn't equal. He made like one serious movie no one went to. He played a junkie in one movie that was well received, and then he made these comedies. Silver, he made one good movie, but then this millionaire, he made a movie with Jackie something. No, his concert films are the brilliance. Maybe you've seen those. Richard Pryor.
No,
my favorite.
I need to get into it. I need to get after it. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to do.
What?
I'm going to watch Rodney King, and I'm going to Rodney Dangerfield. And
there aren't many people with Rodney.
No, who were you talking about? Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
Rodney King actually made funny movies. I think it helped him because I liked his movies. Did you see him in movies?
No.
He made one where he went back. His son was in a fraternity. I thought he didn't make that many, but Pryor, Rodney's deal was the big laugh, right? It was easier because Rodney went for the laugh, whereas Pryor went for the commentary, like Lenny Bruce.
Okay.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know if that's true, but I am up against a hard break here at the studio.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you. You're going to leave?
I have to do that. It was great talking to you.
Thank you, man. Anytime.
We had an amazing time. All right, folks. We got to go. Hope you have an amazing day.